a former Green Beret surgeon convicted of slaughtering his pregnant wife and their 2 young daughters at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, nearly 50 years ago, has been denied a new trial. Jeffrey MacDonald, 75, has adamantly maintained his innocence in the 1970 slayings and insisted that his family were killed by drugged-up hippies reminiscent of the Manson family, including a woman who chanted "Acid is groovy, kill the pigs." Prosecutors say MacDonald killed his pregnant wife, 26-year-old Colette, and their 2 daughters, 5-year-old Kimberly and 2-year-old Kristen, with a knife and ice pick, then stabbed himself with a scalpel to make it look like he was attacked while trying to protect his family. They say he used his wife's blood to write the word pig over their bed to mimic the Charles Manson murder 6 months earlier. MacDonald told the police he called to his home on February 17, 1970, that he was awakened by the screams of his wife and daughters and was attacked by intruders, 3 men and a woman with long blonde hair, a floppy hat and boots who carried a lighted candle. Share this article. Share. After decades of failed appeals, MacDonald sought to clear his name by asking the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn a federal judge's 2014 ruling rejecting a new trial. On Friday, the 4th Circuit Court upheld that ruling. MacDonald's latest appeal was based on 3 hairs found at the crime scene that did not match their family's DNA, and a statement from a deputy U.S. Marshal, Jimmy Britt, who accused the prosecution of intimidating a witness. Britt told defense attorneys in 2005 that Helena Stokely told prosecutor Jim Blackburn that she was at the scene of killings. Stokely was a troubled local woman MacDonald had identified as one of the attackers. Britt said Blackburn threatened to indict her with murder if she said so in court. When Stokely got on the stand, she said she couldn't remember where she was that night. Stokely also told several others that she was present for the murders, but the district court said her heavy drug makes her alleged confessions unreliable. Britt and Stokely have both since died. A 3-judge panel of the 4th Circuit agreed with the lower court judge that the new evidence does not warrant a new trial. Simply put, we cannot say that the new evidence, considered with all the other evidence, would be sufficient to establish by clear and convincing evidence that no reasonable fact finder would have found him guilty of the murders of his wife and daughters, Judge Robert King wrote for the panel in the unanimous ruling. To show that he was innocent. Instead, McGinnis became convinced of MacDonald's guilt. McGinnis eventually agreed to pay MacDonald $325,000 to settle breach of trust claim. He died of cancer in 2014, aged 71. MacDonald is serving 3 consecutive life sentences in federal prison in Cumberland, Maryland. For a year, the former Army doctor refused to apply for parole after becoming eligible in 1991, arguing that doing so would essentially amount to admitting guilt. He finally applied in 2005, in part out of a desire to live with the woman he married in 2002 while in prison, but was denied early release. He is not eligible for parole again until 2020. It would be a dishonor to their memory to compromise the truth and admit to something I didn't do, no matter how long it takes, MacDonald said in a 2000 letter to his current wife, Catherine MacDonald. MacDonald's lawyer, Hart Miles, called Friday's ruling devastating news, but said MacDonald will continue to fight for his freedom. He continues to maintain his innocence and wants to express his sincere thanks to all the supporters who have stood by him, Miles said in a statement. The Fourth Circuit overturned MacDonald's convictions in 1980, ruling that the 9-year delay to bring him to trial violated his right to a speedy trial. The U.S. Supreme Court reversed that decision in 1982, and MacDonald was returned to prison.